It was one of those nights when the city seemed to hold its breath. Rain-slick streets reflected neon signs in wavering pools of color, and the occasional screech of tires cut through the quiet like a warning. Detective Laura Bennett leaned back in her chair, staring at the stack of unsolved cases piling up on her desk. She had seen her fair share of strange disappearances, but the case of Emily Carter was different. It felt wrong. Emily had vanished 3 days ago. No warning, nothing. Her car was found abandoned in a narrow alleyway behind a rundown diner, its lights still on. Her phone was on the passenger seat, still recording. The police had scoured the area. Security cameras showed nothing. There were no signs of a struggle. No witnesses, just an unsettling emptiness. And yet when Laura first saw the footage from Emily's phone, something made her stomach knot. The recording was brief, just under a minute long. Emily had been filming herself, maybe trying to send a quick message to a friend. She was nervous, glancing over her shoulder. Her voice was low, almost a whisper. "I don't know why I feel like someone is following me. I can't shake this feeling." Then the camera shook violently. A thud echoed, and a shadow moved behind her. It wasn't human. Exactly, it was elongated, distorted, yet unmistakably there. She gasped, and the video ended abruptly. Laura had watched it 5 times already. Each replay felt like a punch to her chest. There was something unnatural about the movement. It wasn't a trick of light. It wasn't a glitch. Something was in that frame. And for the first time in years, she felt that icy knot of fear she thought she'd forgotten. The detective grabbed her coat and headed out. She had to see the alley for herself. The diner was closed, its neon signs flickering, casting brief illumination on the wet asphalt. She traced the path Emily's car had taken, noting the lack of footprints. No tire marks other than the car itself. It was as if Emily had vanished into thin air. Laura crouched, her flashlight tracing along the wall. Then she saw a smear of something dark on the brick. It wasn't blood, not quite. It looked more like a shadow that had been pressed against the wall. Her pulse quickened. She snapped a photo, careful not to touch it. Back at the precinct, she ran the footage through enhanced filters, frame by frame. And then she saw it. The shadow. Clearer now, it wasn't a reflection. It wasn't a trick of light. It was standing just behind Emily, too close to be noticed in the original footage. And the shape, it didn't make sense. Its limbs stretched at unnatural angles. Its head tilted in a way no human could. Its eyes glowed faintly, like tiny pinpoints of fire. Laura couldn't sleep that night. She kept going over it, imagining what had happened. Had Emily seen it before the camera did? Did she even realize it was there? She shook her head, trying to clear the thoughts, but they kept creeping back. The shadow wasn't just a figure in a video. It felt alive, intelligent, aware. The next morning, she went to Emily's apartment. The place was pristine, nothing out of place except for a laptop open on the desk. Emails, social media, notes, nothing unusual. But then Laura noticed something odd. Emily's webcam had recorded something too. It was a split-second video, unnoticed because it hadn't saved properly. But when Laura played it, her blood ran cold. The shadow was in the room, not in a reflection, not in a mirror, not behind the curtains. It was sitting at Emily's desk, watching her from the corner of the frame. Its body seemed to ripple, almost liquid, stretching impossibly. And then it moved. Not walking, floating. Closer to the camera, closer to Emily, and then it was gone. Laura had seen a lot of horrors in her career, but nothing like this. She called tech experts, the FBI, anyone who could explain it. They analyzed the footage, the angles, the light. Nothing natural could account for what they saw. And yet, every single piece of evidence or the lack thereof pointed to one terrifying conclusion. Emily hadn't left voluntarily. Something had taken her. Days turned into a week. Laura scoured the city, interviewing Emily's friends, family, and co-workers. She had been an ordinary young woman, quiet, cautious, a little socially withdrawn, but harmless. No enemies, no debts, nothing that would suggest a crime. And yet she was gone. Then, a breakthrough. A delivery man had noticed something. On the night Emily vanished, he had seen a figure in the alley just for a moment. It was dark, almost blending into the shadows, and it was moving inhumanly fast. He said it didn't have a face he could describe, just a vague, shifting form. Back. Laura noted it down. Every witness who saw something described the same impossibility, a being that didn't belong. Laura spent her nights analyzing every video, every clue, and one thing became horrifyingly clear. The shadow was intelligent. It didn't just appear randomly, it watched, it followed, and it knew when it had been seen. Then came the letter. No return address, just a single sheet of paper slid under the precinct door. It was written in a shaky hand. Stop looking. She is mine now. You will see the frame too. Laura felt the weight of the words. She wasn't just chasing a missing person anymore. She was chasing something she didn't understand, something that didn't belong in this world. She returned to the alley that night, alone. The rain fell harder, and thunder rumbled in the distance. She set up cameras, phones, every recording device she had, and she waited. Hours passed. Silence. Then, at exactly 2:13 a.m., her phone camera flickered. She glanced at it and froze. The shadow was there, behind her. But not in a reflection, not in the puddles. It was in the frame, looking directly at the lens. Its form shifted, elongated, its eyes glowing faintly. And then it moved closer, faster than humanly possible, until it was right behind her shoulder. Laura's heart raced. She spun around. Nothing, just the alley, empty as ever. But when she looked back at her phone, the frame was frozen, and there it was. The shadow, smiling, not a human smile, but a cruel, knowing grin. Laura finally understood the truth. Emily hadn't vanished. Not entirely. Not yet. The shadow. It collected its victims. It existed in the spaces humans ignored, the frames we don't notice, the moments we think are empty. And once you saw it, once it knew you saw it, you were marked. The next morning, the footage had disappeared. Her cameras were erased. Her phone was wiped clean. All digital traces were gone, as if it never existed. Laura's colleagues doubted her. They laughed it off. Shadows, tricks of light, stress. But Laura knew better. She had felt it, watched it, and she wasn't sure she would ever escape it. Weeks later, someone spotted a new face in the city. A young woman, timid, walking alone. May. Someone had caught a glimpse of her on a CCTV camera. Behind her, almost imperceptible, a dark figure moved, and this time it seemed hungry. Laura stared at the screen in disbelief. She whispered to herself, the shadow in the frame. It never stops. She locked the footage away. Every frame, every angle, every hint. Because if anyone else saw it, she wasn't sure they would survive. The city continued to bustle, unaware of the darkness lurking just beyond our perception, and Emily. Wherever she was part of the shadow now. Gone entirely, but trapped, watching, silent, and waiting. Laura never slept the same way again. Every dark alley, every flicker of movement, every reflection in a window made her jump. She knew one thing with terrifying certainty. Some things in this world are not meant to be seen. The moment you see them, they see you. And sometimes, follow you home. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Be careful out there, and check those reflections.